We're here on a real windy day at Bosse Field, and we're talking to all-star outfielder Jeff Gardner. Jeff, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Good to be here.
What's your earliest memories of baseball?
Jeez, the earliest, obviously there's a couple T-ball memories in there, but I think what I remember the most is when I first started hitting machine pitch. That was when I first started playing, with the ball moving and swinging a little bit. So those are probably the first memories.
Now, what team were you a fan of growing up?
I was a Reds fan growing up.
Big Red Machine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, being in Louisville, there are AAA teams right there, Louisville Bats. So I'd get down to some of those games and stuff, and grew up. My first game I ever went to, Barry Larkin went 5 for 5.
Okay.
Saw Griffey. It was when Griffey was in Cincinnati. So, I was a Reds fan growing up.
So who was your favorite all-time player? Didn't have to be a Red, but who were some of the guys
all-time? Ted Williams got to be. I've always said, he's an old guy, but just always loved Ted Williams. Everything from the way he played to, being an outdoorsman and whatnot. And that's how when I'm not out here playing, that's where I like to be. So I always loved Ted Williams.
Master of the game. The whole configuration with the baseballs where he figured out like 270, 350 and all this stuff. Just incredible mind.
Yep, the science of hitting. Yeah,
yep.
I've read that a couple times.
So now as you got into high school and you started to progress, what point did you really figure, I really want to make a career out of this rather than start playing, just keep playing for fun? Where did you decide, I want to be a major leaguer?
Every little kid wants to be a big leaguer, at some point. And for me, when I really started to think that I could do something was, it was right after my freshman year of high school. Coach McDonald over at U of L, who was the guy I played for, great coach, and 2007 was his first year there, and that was when he took the Cardinals to Omaha for the first time. And whenever I saw that, I grew up in kind of a UK family, believe it or not, so I was kind of on the fence a little bit. And once they went to Omaha, I was just a diehard Cardinal, and I made it my goal. That's where I wanted to be, and what I wanted to do, worked hard and, prayed hard, and a lot of doors opened for me. And it's like I tell everybody, man, God opened a lot of pathways for me to get to Louisville, and went there and had, 4 of the best years of my life, and was lucky enough to get drafted after that, and, after that, it's been a wild ride the last couple of years.
Now, your family obviously forgave you for becoming a Cardinal as compared to being a Wildcat.
Some of them did. I think most of them did, but they, believe it or not, they'd rock a little red out as long as it said baseball on it. They'd wear something. I had some family members, as long as it said baseball, they'd wear Louisville gear out to watch me play. But it was like to watch me play, and then as soon as they got home, it was right off. So.
Ripped it off and put it right in the laundry.
That's right. But my dad's a Louisville grad, so my mom loved the Cardinals, and she was a big UK fan for a long time. But once I went to Louisville, she fell right in love with Louisville. Now my fiance, she's a UK grad, so all her side of the family's UK, but except for my future brother-in-law. So. Well,
that's cool. At least you have somebody to have your back.
That's right.
So now you get drafted. You were drafted by the Nationals and got in the system. Talk a little bit about the difference playing college ball as compared to going ahead and going into the minor leagues.
Big difference. Yeah, huge difference. In college, it's, you're playing, the most you're going to play is 5 games a week. And that's if you have 2 midweek games. Generally, you're just going to play 3 games on the weekend, 1 midweek, have 1 off day a week, and practice. Then wherever you get into professional ball, you start to realize, man, you might not have an off day for 3 weeks or so, and so that can be rough. The travel is absolutely different. At Louisville, I was really blessed to be able to be part of that program where, we were in the Big East. Everywhere we had to go to was up in New York or Connecticut, it seemed like. So we flew everywhere. We flew, I think we bussed like a legitimate bus road trip. We went to Alabama my freshman year. We went to, and those were on we took 2 sleeper buses, not like what we're taking now. These were like rock star buses, they were awesome. So we took those, and then we took a regular bus to Pittsburgh that year, and then one other year we bused to Cincinnati. That's an hour and a half down the road. But then we where else? West Virginia.
Okay.
We bused to West Virginia, which was a little ways, but nothing like, you know, riding 13 hours through the night and then getting up and playing the next day. You know, none of that. So it's a big difference in a lot of that, and you know, also the way the game's played a little bit.
Most memorable hit of your career?
Most memorable hit of my career. I'd have to say the only one that's really sticking out to me, you know, big time is my first homer. I always forget my first homer in college. I always remember that one. Oh. It was against Vanderbilt, and it was a pinch hit. I came off the bench and crushed one.
Do you remember what the pitch was?
Yeah, it was a heater in, and he had just thrown me one. He was missing his. It was Lamb was the pitcher's name, last name Lamb, and he threw me one right at my hip, and I pulled it down the line, like right into our bullpen. I was like, man, I just wasted that pitch, you know. And then he came right back at it. I mean, I think he just missed, and it was just right there, and it was one of the hardest balls I think I've ever hit, but I crushed it. It was pretty sweet.
What is something, as far as a manager goes, what is the most important thing that a manager can do for a player?
You know, I think the best managers know how to they know how to talk to each player. You know, baseball it's just like in life, man. Everybody handles things differently and reacts to things different, and the best managers know how to get the best out of their players. I can't say enough about you know, our manager here. I've, you know, played for a couple managers at the Nationals and played for Skip, you know, Andy, the last 3 years, and I've loved every minute of it. He knows you know, kind of when to push a guy and when to kind of pull the rein, you know, when to pull the reins back a little bit, you know. And so I think that's what the best managers know how to do. They have a lot of feel, you know, feel for, you know, these guys just had a long road trip. Let's give their legs a break and not push them. So I'd say that they know how to handle their players.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, no problem.
We've watched you play. Scouts, if you're out there, if you happen to catch this video, take a look at Jeff. He's a quality guy. He is a guy that's a character guy that would be an asset to any organization in Major League Baseball. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.